How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a good day. In the last video, I said I was going to give something away to a random person who commented on that video. So here we are with a YouTube random comment picker where you have a 1 in 39 chance of winning something. And we are just going to pick a random person who left a comment on that video. And Surf Blue, you are the winner. So send me a message to gettingyournerdon13@gmail.com and I'll send you something in the mail. With that being said, let's start the video. So the first thing that we're going to look at here is some eBay packages that I've gotten in the mail recently. One of the things I'm trying to do with my game collection is expand my Sega Genesis shoot 'em up selection. I do have some games, but not too many of the genre, so I pretty much just downloaded the list and I'm just trying to pick them off one by one. This is a game that I found for $8 shipped. It's called Biohazard Battle, so I really couldn't pass it up at that price. Biohazard Battle was developed by Sega and released in 1994 exclusively for the Sega Genesis. The game is a 2D horizontal and vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. The player has a choice between 4 ships that have different speeds and abilities. As you go through the levels, you will pick up energy seeds that will increase your ship's power and shooting class. Biohazard Battle boasts parallax scrolling, colorful visuals, unique enemy design, and a 2-player option. Next up is a game that my friend Jeff showed me when I went over to his house. I had never played this game before, and we played it for quite a while, and when we were done, I couldn't stop thinking about it for like a week afterwards, so I really just had to pick it up. This game is called Arcus Odyssey. It's a game by Retribution. It ran me about $18, and it does have some label damage, but I just couldn't stop thinking about this game. I had to own it. Arcus Odyssey was created by Wolf Team, published by Retribution, and released for the Sega Genesis in 1991. There was also a version developed for the Super Nintendo titled Arcus Spirits, however it was never officially released. The player has a choice between 4 characters that all have different abilities. You will fight in multiple dungeons as you progress through the game and acquire power-ups and items from bosses and chests. The game is on the cryptic side as there is no on-screen map, constantly respawning enemies, and easy to miss items and rooms. However, playing through it with a friend is a blast. And lastly, we have an accessory. I love collecting different color variations for controllers, and this was the last color that I needed for the Wii. It's a blue Wii Mot with Wii Motion Plus. I believe I got this for $10 shipped, which was a steal. So now I finally have all 4 different color Wiis, and I have the matching Wii Mots to go with them. So that's the stuff that I got from eBay recently. It's still a viable place to game hunt. There's a lot of good deals to be had in there, and then, you know, if you take advantage of the coupons they have and free shipping, it can work out pretty well. And here's a library book sale that I went to. This is the manga and graphic novel table here. Not too much, but there was this Halo graphic novel that I was going to pick up. It was $1 and in really nice shape. And then I have a buddy who loves Joss Whedon, so here's the Runaways. I picked this up for him. It was only $2. Again, just in beautiful shape. There's a pretty good selection in this place. Now here's the comics. There's some Simpsons, some Star Wars, just random stuff. Most of the stuff was $1. Now here's the other books. This was at a library, so there's just books on books on books, probably from 50 cents to $2, just stuff everywhere. A lot of this stuff comes from donations. Here's some video games and Blu-rays. We got some Killzone 2, we got Halo 3, Episode 3, we got Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Catwoman, Transformers, Flushed Away, a bunch of 10-footers, but they were all $2 a piece. So I picked up Dead to Rights Retribution. I don't even remember this game coming out, but it was in beautiful shape, and for $2, yeah, I figured I'd grab it. And one game I couldn't believe was here that I've been looking for forever was Deadly Premonition Director's Cut. This was in beautiful shape, complete, and for $2, that was an absolute steal. So again, a lot of this stuff is donations. If you donate something to the library, it doesn't just get rented out. And so a lot of times I just stockpile it and they sell it 2 or 3 times a year. Here's a table of DVDs. And then when you turn around, there's just more DVDs. There was also CDs here. There was all kinds of stuff. All this stuff was $2 a piece. There was actually seasons of TV shows here that I believe were $4 a piece. Here's the Strangers. I mean, this stuff's normally in good shape. Finally, here we have some book on tape. Now, book on tape is expensive. There's some James Patterson here. There's probably a bunch of Stephen King. There's tons of stuff. So getting it here for like $2 is just a steal. Now, here's what I ended up picking up. This is the Halo graphic novel. I just picked it up because it was $1. I'll read through it and maybe I'll just donate it back or send it off to whoever wants it. Here's the Runaways. I picked this up for a buddy, but he already had it. So if anybody wants this, just let me know. Just pay the shipping and I'll send it to you. And now here's Dead to Rights Retribution. Again, I don't remember this game coming out. It was just in beautiful shape, and for $2, it's a no-brainer to add to the collection. Dead to Rights Retribution was released in 2010 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It's the 4th game in the series following Jack Slate and the 3rd game involving his attack dog, Shadow. Retribution is also the last game released in the series over 8 years ago. The game is a third-person shooter that heavily uses bullet time throughout the story. Introducing the ability that allows the player to control Shadow makes everything feel much more frantic and fresh. Now this is a game that I almost never seem to find, I just don't see it anywhere. It's Deadly Premonition, the Director's Cut. I had this game on 360 when it came out and I loved it and I've been looking for this forever. Deadly Premonition was originally released for the Xbox 360 in 2010 in North America and was given a Director's Cut on the PlayStation 3 in 2013. The game is a survival horror release that follows FBI agent Francis York Morgan as he attempts to solve a string of murders. The vibe is sometimes compared to Twin Peaks, which is also focused around the murder of a young woman. Deadly Premonition is usually loved or hated without any overlap. And those are all the things that I picked up at the library book sale. Alright, so here's a yard sale. Now, I wasn't even going out yard sailing, I just happened to drive by this, so I decided to stop. They say stop at every yard sale you see, because you really never know what's going to be in there. There's a bunch of junk right here. There's also a bunch of movies and CDs and these things up here, but then I see this box on the side of the table here, and there's an N64 in there. And when I opened the expansion pack lid, there actually was an expansion pack. I asked the guy how much it was. He said everything in that box was $1 a piece. There's also a Game Gear battery pack in here. There's a Genesis Model 2 power supply. There's some random power cords in there. Here's a Wii Sports with no disc in it. There's some Nintendo AV cords in there. There's a GameCube power supply. There's an old school PlayStation controller. Here's some covers for an iPod. There's a really nice selection of stuff in there, considering the guy told me that people have been buying stuff out of that box all day, so it was really surprising that any of this stuff was actually left behind. This is the yard sale that I went to in like the second video when I showed that double pack of the Grand Theft Auto for the PS2, the Vice City and Liberty City stories. This is where I got it, so I was looking up top to see if I could find any other games, but it was just a bunch of movies and really no other games. And here's the rest of the yard sale, just dishes, old toasters, shoes, baskets, random junk, and of course, what yard sale wouldn't be complete without a Wii Fit board just chilling there right before you leave. So here's everything cleaned up and everything did work. I mean, $1 for this N64 with the expansion pack is just beyond a steal. It worked great and none of the buttons are sticky. It was just a good find. Cleaned up nicely too. Here's the Sega Genesis Model 2 power adapter. I actually needed another one of these, so $1 was a perfect price for that. Here's the GameCube power supply, cleaned up great, and again, $1 is a great price for it. And then here's the Nintendo AV cables, official. Can't beat it for $1. So I mean, finding anything at a yard sale that you weren't even planning on going to is pretty good. So for $4, that's a pretty nice haul. And in case any of you guys didn't know, Funko now makes cereal, and I saw this Golden Girl cereal that I was going through Target. $8 a box is pretty steep, but it does come with a pop inside of it. Look at these boxes. Don't these normally come in like cardboard shipping containers? So I have no clue how the hell that would actually happen. And they actually also make these pint glasses of the girls. We've seen a bunch of Golden Girl stuff on the channel before, and I'm not actually sure how much more they even make, but when I saw this, I know I just had to throw it into the video. Here's a local mom and pop flea market. The way this works is somebody rents out a booth and then puts their stuff in there, and then you pay the lady up front, so there's no sellers that are actually here. Here's a booth that has a slim PS2 for $30 with controllers. Not bad if you're looking for it. There's also some cartridge-based stuff up here. Wave Race is under that Perfect Dark for $4. That Perfect Dark is $10. Most of this stuff I think is just market price. There's also some G.I. Joe stuff here. Quest for $4, Battle Tanks for $5, Forsaken for $4. Not the best deal, but if you're going to add it to your collection, it's fine. So here's like what some of the other booths look like. There's just a bunch of random stuff here, like tools, there's a dustpan, there's clothes, there's video games, there's movies, there's all kinds of stuff. Now here's these figures. These are from Devil May Cry. They were $10 a piece. I don't really know anything about these. They have to be worth at least $10. I've never even seen those before. Here's Dragon Ball Xenoverse, $15. Again, not bad if you're looking for it. And then the god-awful movies below it. Now here's a guy who has a little video game store. There's some 360 stuff, above it's PS3, down here is some DS and Wii stuff, there's a whole row of PS2 games, there's some N64 stuff, below that we got some Atari games, some PS2. Now here's some more current stuff. Here's Lego Marvel Superheroes, but when I opened it up it was actually Lego Avengers. I should have bought that because my girlfriend needed it, but I didn't know at the time that she did need it. There's FIFA 15. What else do we have here? Grand Theft Auto 5 here for $8. Not bad if you're looking for it, not bad at all. Pro Evolution Soccer 2015. Here's a UFC game. And then up here we have a nice new condition Wii Mot and some PS2 memory cards along with some PS2 games. Now here's a copy of Far Cry 2 for the PS3. This is actually a PAL version. I have no clue how something like this would even get here. The game was released in North America though. And then here we got some disc-only PS2 stuff. There's Genji, there's MLB, Rygar, a bunch of 10-footers. I mean, you can already imagine what's in here. Pirates of the Caribbean, Ice Age. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe isn't bad. It's not that great of a game, but it's not the worst either. Here you got Madden, 25 to Life. What else? Alpha Protocol. Most of these games are like $2 a piece, so if you collect disc-only stuff, it's not bad at all. Now up top here is the PS3 stuff. Here's a sealed copy of Fuel for $5. Definitely going to pick this up because it's a sealed copy of a PS3 game that isn't a crummy sports game. There is a singing and dancing Porg. Now, one thing I was saying is how there's no sellers here, so you can't really do any haggling, but sometimes people have a sign on their booth like this for 25% off. So there's a number that corresponds to this booth, and when you go up, they know who has a sale, and then they just mark it automatically up there. Here's the Duck Dynasty Uncle Side Pop for $5. This box does have some damage to it. The huge tag on the back on the tape is probably going to wreck the box even more, and that pop is actually deceivingly heavy. So here's some DVDs and Blu-rays and box sets. I believe these are $2 a piece or 3 for $5. Let's see, what is that? Bride of Chucky. And there's some games too that we'll check out in a minute. We got Slither, Rain of Fire, The Tuxedo. I never saw that movie. The Matrix, Soul Plane. And then down here we got these Naruto box sets. We got some Blu-rays and I don't know, just random stuff. It's a good selection. I bought movies from here before. And now here are the video games. Here's the prices. It says video games $3. I know it's hard to see. Cassettes are 4 for $1 and records are $1 each. First thing I see here is this disc-only copy of The Warriors for Xbox. Now, a couple videos ago I found the case and manual for this for $1 at the flea market, so I'm definitely going to pick this up so I can complete it. And then, the other stuff mixed in here is mostly 10-footers, if not all. We have some NBA Live, there's some FIFA, Dance Central, but then I see this G1 Jockey 4 2008. This is a PAL release, but it's a PAL exclusive. Far Cry 2, I could see how it could have got here because it was actually released here, but this game was never released here, so I have no clue how it's even here. There's a Halo 2 Collector's Edition, SOCOM, and random stuff. Here's another look at the Warriors. And then this guy was selling some toys here. He has some World of Nintendo stuff. It was all $10 a piece. I probably would have bought some at $5, especially that blue Yoshi, but 10 was a little too high for me. And then there's these Space Jam plushies. I can't remember what the name of that thing is. As you're going to find anywhere, here are some board games and plushes and books and a high chair and all kinds of random stuff. And this place also sells like baking supplies and cake supplies. And here are some Lion King candles. I have no clue what year this is from. And so here's the stuff that I picked up. This is that copy of Fuel. Now, I've never played this game and I'm not going to be able to show any footage because I'm not going to open this. I'm just going to keep it sealed. But for $5, it was a great deal. Here's the G1 Jockey 4 2008 game. As you can see there, that is a PEGI rating, which means it's from Europe. This was released on the 30th anniversary of Koei. Anyway, it was too cool for me not to pick this up for $3. G1 Jockey 4 2008 was developed by Koei and released exclusively for the PlayStation 3 only in PAL territories in 2008. This is a horse racing game that begins in jockey school and progresses all the way to a professional level. You can use a 6-axis functionality to play the game to simulate riding a real horse. G1 Jockey is essentially a horse riding RPG as there are social situations, lots of dialogue, upgrades, and a robust set of riding controls. You can download new horses from the PlayStation Store or breed your own and train them to race. And then here is that disc-only copy of The Warriors. It's in the GameStop box. This game is great. I beat this game when it came out. I bought it. It was amazing. Now here is the other box and manual that I had bought at the flea market. And that's all the stuff that I picked up at the local flea market. It cost me $11 for everything. And here's a Nintendo Gamecube Lot from Craigslist. It was $35. Came with the console, Mario Party 6 and 7, a microphone, the power supply, and the AV cables. It also came with 4 controllers and 2 memory cards. And the guy was a brewer, and he said if I just picked it up at the brewery that he worked at, he would also give me some beers when I picked this up. So here's what everything looked like when I grabbed it. They were just in these cardboard crates here. You can see everything is just a little old and dusty. It hasn't been really taken care of. Mario Party 6 is disc only, so it's in the case with 7. And here's the beers that the guy gave me. There's 5 different kinds here. When I walked up, he just asked me, hey, do you like beer? And when I said yeah, he went to the back and he came out with this. So yeah, we'll go over these in a little more detail later. And here's everything after it was all cleaned up. Here's the GameCube itself. It looks great. It cleaned up just fine. It has all the covers on the bottom. Works great, and the lid actually opens and closes. My favorite thing of the GameCube is the handle on the back. Then we have 2 third-party controllers here. One is indigo and one is white. I was hoping that white would have been first party, but it wasn't released in America, so fat chance of that happening. Here's the power supply all cleaned up and rubber banded, and then the AV cables. It was all in nice shape, just needed to be cleaned up a little bit. And then here's the other two controllers. They are first party. They're both black. I actually didn't have to take apart any of these controllers or change any of the sticks. I just cleaned them up with a rag and some cleaner, and they look fine. Here's the microphone. This actually also came in black. This was packaged with Mario Party 7, I believe. Here are the two memory cards. They're both third party, and they're 16 megabytes, which I believe is twice the size of a GameCube memory card. So here's Mario Party 6. It is disc only. It is the last Mario Party that I need to complete my collection on the GameCube. Mario Party 6 was developed by Hudson Soft and released in 2004 for the Nintendo GameCube. The design of the game looks like it comes from the world of Paper Mario, and it features 82 all-new minigames. Mario Party 6 was the first in the series to utilize the microphone accessory and the first appearance of Toadette in the Party series. However, it's the final game in the series to allow the game to play itself without a single human player playing it. Mario Party 6 sold over 1.5 million copies. Finally, here's that copy of Mario Party 7. It is complete with all the inserts. The disc does have a couple scratches, but it does play just fine. Mario Party 7 was developed by Hudson Soft and released in 2005 for the Nintendo GameCube. The game takes place on a cruise ship this time, and it features 88 all-new minigames. Mario Party 7 was the first in the series to introduce Bowser Time, and it's the first appearance of Birdo and Dry Bones in the Party series. 8-player minigames also return where players are required to share a controller. Mario Party 7 sold almost 2 million copies worldwide. And here's an overview of all the rest of the stuff. Alright, now we're going to take a look at those beers. The first is Trial by Combat. It's a double IPA brewed with passion fruit juices. This was easily my favorite of the entire bunch. There were 2 of these, and if you see it, definitely pick it up and give it a try. The second is from Bay State Brewing. It's Becky Likes the Smell double IPA. This was another really good one, and there were 2 of these in there. The third is the Endless Mosaic IPA. There's only 1 of these in there. It wasn't my favorite of the bunch, but it was still pretty good. Here is the Greylock IPA. This one packs a punch. This is 12% alcohol. There are 3 of these in there. Pretty good beer. And lastly, my least favorite is this Moscow Mule. This is vodka diluted in ginger beer. I don't really care for ginger, so it didn't really help with this, but it was okay, but I wouldn't pick it up again. And there's everything. The guy didn't have to give me those. It was very nice of him to hook me up. What have you picked up lately, or what have you been playing? Thank you very much for watching, and as always, stay nerdy.
Getting your nerd on, getting your nerd on, getting your nerd on.
I got a raging nerd on.